I struggle in my parenting with not defaulting to because I said so. Not because I want unquestioning obedience, but because I'm so tired. I have a 1.5-year-old who is teething and never sleeps, and an 8-year-old. This comment was left on a video where I was saying that authoritarian parenting primes us for authoritarianism, and that's part of the reason we're in this situation in the US now. And Orange Fox, I just wanted to say I empathize very, very much with the position that you're in. It is exhausting to be a parent in the United States. It is exhausting because we deserve the village and we don't have it. We don't have support systems. It's a really isolating and absolutely exhausting experience to be a parent in the US, especially if you are trying to parent your children compassionately, empathetically, using non-authoritarian parenting techniques, because being a non-authoritarian parent takes more effort, it takes more labor, it takes more mental effort for sure, right? It's much easier just to violate your kids' bodily autonomy, hit them and stick them in their room and be like, you're punished, go there, you're on restriction, you're grounded, right? It's much easier to demand unquestioning obedience and not have to actually work at having a relationship with a child, to not actually give space for them to have their own free will, for them to develop their own critical thinking skills. I don't want to make anybody think that non-authoritarian parenting is easy or it's less work. It is more work. Investing in any relationship is going to require work. But because we don't have the support systems that we need and deserve, it's far more exhausting than it should be. And we have far less bandwidth to engage in the kind of thoughtful interactions. Like we're running on fumes all of the time. And so I guess I just really want to encourage you here. There are plenty of times when I've been parenting my kids when they were younger. And even now, right? My kids are 22, 21, 17, and 14. But there are lots of times where I'm just really tired. I'm too exhausted. I don't have the bandwidth to have a back and forth. Right? You are not alone in this experience. And it can be tempting to fall back on the ways that we were parented because I said so, right? Basically wanting your children to obey, not to question you. Not because you want obedience, but just because you're too tired in the moment. And my default tends to just be honesty. I tend to just try and tell my kids, this is where I'm at. Because then I'm modeling for them how I would want them to behave in the same situation, right? I'm giving them an example of what we do when we don't have the bandwidth, when we are running on fumes, when we have to have these interactions and we just feel like there's no well to draw from, right? I'm totally empty. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's go back in time a little bit. My kids are younger and I booked all of their dental cleanings on the same day. It's a 30-minute drive across town to the pediatric dentist. And my kids don't want to get going. One of them is playing on his iPad. Another one is in the middle working on a painting and doesn't want to leave. Well, we got to go in 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to have your teeth brushed, your hair brushed, have your socks and shoes on, and meet me at the front door. We have these dentist appointments. We cannot be late or they will charge me $70 a head if we miss our appointments. Like this is a commitment that we made. This is how we are taking care of our bodies. We need to go. And my kids will start arguing with me. Oh, I need 15 more minutes. Oh, why do we have to go? Oh, can't we just call and say we're sick? But so far today, I've already had to argue with my dental insurance on the phone. I've already had to troubleshoot. Why is my dryer not properly drying my clothes? And shit, I can't afford to get it fixed. And now the laundry's backing up. And the dog was barfing. And it's already been a really long day. By myself, I don't have family support. I don't have any reprieve at all. And I don't have it in me to have this back and forth with my kids. Normally, yes, we can negotiate back and forth. I don't have the bandwidth and I don't want to lose my temper with them. I default to honesty. Guys, could you just do me a solid right now? I don't have the capacity to argue about this. I'm really tired and I don't want to get snippy with you. I don't want to lose my temper. For the moment, could y'all just agree with me that this is not up for debate? We have to leave at this time in order to get to our appointments on time. And no, we cannot reschedule. I have found when I am honest with my children, that is the best way to be with them. That's the best way to have an authentic relationship. We don't have to be superhuman to our children. We don't have to act like we are more than we are. We want to show them how to be a human being in the world, how to have relationships with other people, how to be our authentic selves as we have those relationships with other people. And part of that is just being like, guys, I'm fucking exhausted right now. And gosh, I would love to have this conversation, but I'm afraid that it's going to go off the rails. I'm afraid that I'm going to say things that I regret because I just am too tired. I'm spread too thin right at the moment and I cannot access my best parenting skills. I'm afraid I cannot bring my best self to this conversation. So can we just table this for another time? Can we just all agree, like, yeah, let's just go do this thing. I've found pretty overwhelmingly my kids are like, yeah, that makes sense. But then the other side of that is when they come to me and they are melting down and they don't necessarily have the vocabulary, right? They're emotional, they're snippy, they're, having oversized, outsized reactions to things. Then I don't punish them for that. I don't shame and belittle them. I need to recognize in them what I have had happen to me earlier, and not push their buttons and not ask more of them than they are capable of engaging in the moment. When I show them, okay, I'm assessing that I don't have the capacity right now. When I show them like, hey guys, I'm communicating to you that I've checked in with myself and I can anticipate that I'm not going to be able to handle this well. I understand my limitations. And my overall goal here is to love and respect you and to protect this relationship. And so I'm not going to be able to do the thing that we normally do in the moment. And I'm asking you to understand. That is still parenting. That's still really good non-authoritarian parenting because I'm now modeling for them so that when they get in that position where they're really overloaded and they cannot access their calm engagement, they're too tired, they're too hungry, they're too overwrought to have a conversation, a back and forth with me in which they can clearly articulate their position. I need to recognize that. And then I've now shown them that they can recognize that in themselves and be like, hey mom, I'm maxed out. Can we not do this right now? Or they can tell their sibling like, hey, actually, I really need that last bagel. I know normally we would go back and forth about it, but I don't have it in me to negotiate right now. So I'm being honest with my kids, and also I am modeling skills and words that they can access when they are similarly in a position where they are drained and they are evaluating their own limitations and understanding how to work within those in the moment. But this is really hard. This took me, no, I don't want to say this took me a long time because I still struggle with it. It's really hard not to revert to the ways that we were parented. It's really hard in the moment when you cannot necessarily access all of those skills. It's really, really hard not to revert to the things that our parents did to us because it's so deeply ingrained, even if we spent a ton of work unlearning a lot of it, even if we've spent a ton of work learning new skills to help our children. For me, non-authoritarian parenting, especially in the early years, but even now occasionally, it still very much is a discipline. It is a conscious effort. The easy, unconscious thing is just to do what was done to me because it's just been sewn into the fabric of who I am. If you were not raised with non-authoritarian parenting, it is a labor. It is a labor of love. It does take a conscious effort. It gets easier over time. It gets much easier over time. But I even still have these moments now. Of course, my kids are a lot older, so I'll say things like, could we just fucking not right now, guys? I need 10 minutes. I'm not able to have this conversation in the moment. It's not you. I don't want to say something I regret. So Orange Fox, I hear you. Very normal, very normal. And understand that children are very forgiving. Children want to see your humanity and your authenticity, as well as your compassion, as well. That's part of your humanity, is accessing your compassion and your respect for them. And being honest with them is respectful. Modeling for them how we engage when we are running on fumes, that is good parenting.